Connect Santiago is brought to you by Lend-Lease, JLL, and is powered by Unisu. Jorge Ignacio Prieto explains that ConTech is part of PropTech.
ConTech as part of PropTech. I'm Jorge Ignacio Prieto, co-founder of INQSOL. ConTech is one of the most important parts of PropTech. A good construction is necessary to minimize risk and damage during asset lives, including reduced maintenance cost. Properties management has available thousands of digital solutions. However, the building process is almost handcrafted worldwide and is stuck in an analog area. In construction are together many persons, suppliers, materials, equipment, and stakeholders. In a reduced pace, especially in urban works, and in a short time to service a project. Every work almost starts from zero every time. In construction, we can find people with the lowest educational level in the world working together with many professionals. Therefore, to obtain a fast digital technologies adoption in construction, it is necessary and obligatory to educate people. Here's the big challenge to develop ConTech into PropTech: digital education for digital transformation in construction industry. PropTech is understood as technologies for properties. In the beginning, the first technologies can design to create in drawing all structures that will be part of one property. Then, next step will construction process. Finally, when construction is finished, management process will follow. Among design and construction stage, it is necessary to include the operation of a financial and loans to finish the project. Moreover, in parallel, we need to solve insurance and legal issues. Therefore, to reach a successful project, it is necessary to understand and to include many different technologies inside PropTech. But construction step is like the black hole into the whole process. What is going on with construction stage? What is our challenge for construction? Why is it so difficult to catch construction process and transform them into a digitized process? In construction, we can find low level of adoption of digital technologies. Many activities must be controlled in a short time. Many people interacting with different levels of education. Many suppliers and companies gathered in a short space and in a short time. Millions of construction and suppliers companies, mostly micro enterprises and small and medium companies. Craftwork, little systemized, especially in building and commerce. Intensive in use of leases of third-party assets. Each work is a company that starts from zero every time. The researcher Roland Berger, in his study of digitalization in the construction industry, established 4 areas that should be looked when working of this transformation. Digital data, data collection and analysis, automation, use of new technology to create autonomous and self-organized systems, connectivity, connection and synchronization of activities that were previously separated, digital access, mobile internet access and internal company networks. Each company, at the time of writing the scanning process, must keep these areas in mind. Especially in construction, these issues are relevant and often difficult to meet. Internet access is often poor or there is not, given the location, the projects, of the weakness of the connection. The data is many, very diverse, very dynamic, changing every minute. And synchronization is difficult, given that there is not enough software in this industry. Only BIM is making significant progress in this area in the last year. Looking at the study conducted by McKinsey & Company a few years ago on the progress of digitalization, we can see that construction industry is the most backward and therefore one that offers greater opportunities for startups and technology developers. On the other hand, The study carried by the Chilean sociologist Diego Richard of the Chilean Foundation shows that construction has the high potential to automate routines. One of the higher potentials is in undergoing replacement of labor by automated systems compared with others or another industries. However, this process will not happen so quickly because in many countries the construction is almost handmade and very close to last-minute definitions by the owners. The Gartner Index shows the percentage of investment in software and technology of each economic sector as a proportion of its total sales. We can observe that construction is the industry that has invested less in software and technology historically. This poses a great challenge and a great opportunity. It's not difficult to construction company then to make a quantum jump in digital innovation. Just convince yourselves. This could open a new market for startups. From the same study by Roland Berger, we can see that in 2014, the BIM did not reach 10% of the projects in Europe. But today, between 2019 and 2020, Colombia has 30% of its projects with BIM, and in Chile, all public works must necessarily include BIM in every work. But there is still a long way to go. In construction, we have four main resources: labor, materials, equipment, and information. The workforce usually mixes people with zero training, technician, professionals, and very academic people. All educational levels are presented in the same project. Materials suffer adaptation in the field and losses and damage. Equipment, mainly leased to specialized suppliers, often suffers damage and very expensive losses. The information many times is lost or does not arrive on time, given the multiple activities that must be attended in a short time in a little space. In construction, it's common to generate large losses of resources, mainly equipment and materials, that directly impact the business. At least in Latin America, the losses in this concept can be up to 1% of the total sales of the construction companies, without considering losses due to delays, longer time, or indirect expenses and cost. Looking only at the top of 50 construction companies in Latin America operating, we estimate losses due to the equipment misuse at more than $118 million. In Chile, we calculate that the construction company loses every year more than $200 million because of misuse resources and equipment of assets. Take, for example, the process map of a typical building construction. We see the process from the beginning of the layout and the excavation until the delivery of the building some years later. This process is well known and is the same throughout the world for centuries. Only the machine security and process controls have changed. The last major technological leap in construction happened about 20 years ago with the appearance of mobile phones, tablets, and massification of internet. But from that moment until now, the construction remains almost the same. And we ask why? What is missing for the next step? Currently, it is possible to find in the market all these technologies: augmented reality, virtual reality, 3D printing, blockchain, automation, cloud system, etc. There are quite a few construction companies that have already started with these technologies, but much remains to be done. These technologies are part of PropTech ConTech chapter. It is important to make them known more and more. In order to control construction process, such as supply, warehouse, or quality, there are computer systems that, in addition to delivering productivity and management indicators, generate complete traceability, which can be registered in BIM guaranteed with blockchain, allow smart contracts, and feed intelligence system. We can see an example of thousands of PropTech solutions to exist worldwide. And in this, we can see that in ConTech world, we barely have a few companies. And I must enlarge the logos to fill the page. There are very few. In Brazil, Israel, Australia, and some other countries, there is currently a growing and strong ConTech ecosystem, but the rest of the world is missing. In Chile, we have just started at the end of 2018 strongly. Currently, in Chile, we have several public and private initiatives developing and promoting startups for construction. The development of BIM has been a very important factor driven by the state for several years that has moved the industry toward digitalization. In the private sector, the Chilean Chamber of Construction, together with the construction company Izquierdo and the Maciza company, have developed together with Corfo public company the program Digitize the Construction. All this has allowed the development both the ecosystem called Building Innovating and the Digital Construction Laboratory, of which I am the vice president. Previously, I mentioned that in construction we find people with all levels of education, from zero to much. And that is a barrier when implementing the digital transformation in construction. Which is why I believe that the first step we must take is digital education. Education in digital technologies and processes. We can find professionals with a lot of knowledge, but digital illiterates. We also find people with little technical knowledge, but more willing to use digital technologies. To advance this, in Chile we have created a meetup community of ConTech that has worked all year 2019 and go on. This community today is the largest in the world of ConTech. During 2019, we talked about smart cities, smart contracts, BIM, artificial intelligence, and other topics, and how they affect construction stage within the life of a project. In this page, we can see the first member of Building Innovating community related to the Chilean Chamber of Construction, Jorge and Maciza company in 2019. Here we can see the Innovation Square held during the Edifica Fair version 2019, where many startups and companies with digital solutions for construction were presented. It was a great first step. We must continue go on. Finally, to achieve all this, we must work hard on digital process education, focused on construction. For this, it's important to achieve an ecosystem where education and institutions meet, from college to university, companies, investors, the state, unions, and people who want to contribute. In education, digital construction challenge must be worked together by students and professionals with continuing education. Perform collaborative work between students and company. Market. Digital construction challenge will be worked together by startups supported by companies, investors and entrepreneurs seeking more efficiency and productivity. Only this way we will win the challenge of the digital transformation of construction. The ConTech industry will grow, and then the PropTech world will be better. INQSOL is changing the way in which construction suppliers are doing business. Thank you very much.